Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? I want to be respectful. So this is Hannah Berger talking. I think everyone on the line I know pretty well. I'm the Director of Development for the Foundation for Prader-Willi Research, and there's been conversation happening lately, especially online in some of the One Small Step groups and other groups that talk a lot about fundraising and awareness building about mini fundraisers. So we thought, why not, in the interest of the launch of Prader-Willi Syndrome Awareness Month in May, we have a little get-together brainstorming session, share some great ideas, and hopefully inspire a little bit of activity around PWS Awareness Month. Hopefully everybody knows, and I'm sure they do, that PWS Awareness Month is nationally recognized. It happens the entire month of May every year. It's been in existence for about a decade now. And here at FPWR, we have a really nice month of communications planned. We are also planning to announce, I guess what you could call a formal fundraising campaign. We are hoping to have a matching gift component that is being solidified and confirmed as I speak. And we're looking forward to sharing that with everyone. So hopefully you'll be able to leverage the things that we're doing at the national level with the foundation in all the activities that you have planned for PWS Awareness Month locally. So today I asked Sarah Peden, who's in Indiana, and Dana Capabianco, who is in New York, to share a couple of the things that they're doing now to drum up awareness and kick off their fundraising for the year in their hometowns. And then once each of them kind of shares what's been working for them and what they're trying out new this year, we thought we'd go ahead and open it up to a brainstorming session. So whatever questions you might have, if you wanted to share a concept you're working with and see if we can help you create new ideas around it or come up with ideas of how to promote it. And then what we're hoping to get out of this call, in addition to, of course, to supporting your efforts locally, is a calendar of events that we can share nationally. So what we'd like to be able to do is, let's say, Amber, you're having I don't know, a wine and paint night as a fundraiser for PWS Awareness and FPWR May 15th. I'm obviously just throwing this out. We would want to put that on the calendar of events that will be on the FPWR website, and then we'll set up promotions to happen via our Facebook and Twitter channels as well. So that way, we're all kind of working as one big family and hopefully inspiring other people who aren't yet quite as engaged to get involved. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dana.
Hi guys. So as Hannah said, we typically do a lot of mini events leading up to our One Small Step walk here in New York. And I find that the mini events are super duper successful. Generally, our fundraising team helps to put them on. So family or friends that have things that they do in their daily lives kind of find a way to make it into a fundraiser. For example, my mom generally has a yard sale every year. So since Ella's diagnosis, she's made it to benefit FPWR and One Small Step, and every year we raise about $2,000 from that. Our family photographer does some type of campaign every year. This May, she's going to be doing a Live Life Full mini series, so she'll do, photograph families and kind of ask them what it is they're doing to live life full and push it out in a Humans of New York-esque sort of way, which will be kind of cool. But every penny that she gets from the photography sessions, she'll be donating to One Small Step. We're also doing this year a weight loss challenge at my husband's office. And all of the guys in his office have committed to try to lose weight throughout the month of April. And for every pound that they lose, we're going to be donating $10 to the 2016 One Small Step campaign. And I'm a certified holistic health coach, so I've offered to counsel or coach anyone that wanted to take me up on it for the month free of charge. In previous years, we've done Harley rides. We've done this year we did a paint night. which was great. That was a super easy fundraiser, and Paint Night is an organization that exists, so you can reach out to them and let them know that you'd like to have a fundraiser, and it was super easy. All you have to do is promote tickets, and we made almost $1,000 for one night, which was really great. We've also had open mic nights. We've had, like I said, yard sales, T-shirt sales, lots of different things. So I would suggest, finding different ways that you can plug in something that you're already doing, or have your family and friends that want to support you plug in something that they're already doing to make it super easy, and it will be a success.
Great, thanks, Dana. So one thing I wanted to kind of emphasize that Dana just shared, she mentioned very briefly that she is a certified holistic health coach, and I thought it was a really neat way, this new weight loss challenge that her husband's company is doing as like both a morale builder and a fundraiser for FPWR is also a really awesome way for her to promote her services. So one thing that I talk to a lot of our new fundraisers about is, what do you already do during the day, right? Like, why recreate the wheel? Why not, double up the impact you get from the work you're putting into your day? So let's say you're a small business owner, or maybe you work for a multi-level marketing company on the side, like, Nerium or Stella and Dot or one of those, and do those home-based parties. Or maybe you have a small online business like an Etsy store. Anything that you're already doing, if you kind of take that as an opportunity to run a promotion, it opens up a whole new network of people, folks that maybe you don't even know personally, that know nothing about PWS, and that you would never think to ask for a donation, suddenly become donors to your fundraising efforts. And it also, of course, doubles up as a way for you to promote the work that you're doing to support your household, which I think is fantastic. Sarah has a little bit of experience with that also. So Sarah, do you want to talk about the efforts you've put together for this year and years past?
Sure. So, like Hannah was saying, I prefer to fundraise in ways that are naturally built into what I'm already doing. So this past year, I realized I have a hobby of making all things natural, body products, house products, and I had friends asking if I could make my products for them. And I kept thinking, well, I don't really want to open an Etsy store. That's a lot of work, yada, yada. But then I realized I could actually really use this as a way to fundraise. And it's much more motivating to me to have something so meaningful come out of it. So it brings me a lot of joy, and it also brings in a lot of donations as the purchases come in. So my Etsy store I set up, and it's super easy once you get the hang of it. You take pictures, you post it, you post the link. Once it's all on there, it's a lot easier to just keep renewing as things are purchased. But I can change the fundraiser month to month if I want to on Etsy. It's pretty flexible. So if I want to donate 100% of my profits one month, or if I want to donate 50%, or I can run different programs through it, which I really like, and offer different incentives. In the past, I've really leveraged our community. I come from a very liberal arts community. There's a lot of people who like to create things and make things, and who also have Etsy stores or local businesses where they sell their art or their craft, or their hobby is their business. So I've hosted just mini craft shows where I've gotten a good space, donated, the space is donated, and then I'll charge $25 to $50 for a booth, and people can set up, and then it's a win-win situation. They get to sell their goods, and they keep their profits, and then I make money from the booth, and that goes to FPWR. Oftentimes when I do that, they'll give a donation for a raffle and a silent auction. So that is something that has worked out pretty well over the last few years. Another thing that we've done in the past is during PWS Awareness Month, I've just simply posted Q&A about Prader-Willi syndrome on my Facebook page and puts a link to donate on the post. So I don't share a lot of nitty-gritty emotional things throughout the year. So that month, I kind of just let it fly, and people, I think, really appreciate that, and they like to see what it's like to have this life, and it makes it more real for them. They finally get it, and so when the link is there, if they feel moved to donate, then they can. And in the past, that's been a nice bump in donations. I've also approached, I have a friend who's a local baker, and she said, hey, I'd really like to do something for Prader-Willi syndrome. Can I know it's weird because I sell sugar, but can I do something to support you? And I said, absolutely, let's figure it out. And she donated her gross sales from the entire month of July last year, which was amazing. And it actually brought her a ton of business throughout the year because we both promoted it, and friends promoted it, and it was a win-win for both of us. So there are definitely ways. Also, so the restaurant donation night that we did, I know a lot of people sometimes do the Applebee's or Chili's restaurant donation nights, and I think that's okay, but I strongly feel that if you get a local restaurant to partner with you in this, it will be bigger. It's a win-win for you and them. So they get their name out there. The community comes in and supports it, and it's we've found better success out of using a local restaurant rather than a chain. We've also, like Dana, had success with getting photography sessions donated. I've been able to have several online Facebook auctions, which I'm actually having one again this May. And I've had photography sessions donated. I've had Etsy items donated. Anything that would pique interest and bring in donations, we throw into that online auction. And it's really not a lot of work. I put the ask out there, and most people will just come to you. There are some people that I will go to personally and ask who I know are invested in our family, but most of the time people come out of the woodwork on Facebook who I'm not even that close to, but they just recognize, hey, I can actually help here. And it just takes a little bit of their time, but then it benefits us so much. So that's something that I can foresee doing year after year after year. And in the past, it's been pretty successful. Our online donations usually bring in about $2,000 each time, which is great. And then last but not least, the T-shirt sales that we just did. I really focused on creating a T-shirt that could be universal and used for everyone, that anyone would want to wear. Not just our Prader-Willi syndrome families, but anybody. And that has become successful. We've raised almost $2,000 in less than 2 weeks for that T-shirt sale. Just because it's on Facebook, it gets shared by many families, and people want to help, and they say, you know, I can't make a big donation, but I can do this, and it all adds up. So it's been encouraging to see that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Sarah, do you want to share a little bit about like what platforms or vendors you're using in terms of the online stuff? So for instance, the auction you do every year, like logistically.
Yeah, so the auction, I have created a page. It's just one small step Bloomington, so that it's completely public, and I update it occasionally with facts, research facts about PWS, and that's where I promote all of our fundraising efforts so that it can be shared and viewed publicly rather than on my profile that I don't want the whole world seeing. So I use One Small Step Bloomington as the place to hold the online auction. I create an album and I upload the photos of each donation, and I include the description of the donation, the person who donated it, a link to their business, and then I usually start the bids at half the retail value, and they go up from there. And when all is said and done, what we've done in the past, and I wanted to check with you if this is still okay, they've made the donation straight to my One Small Step page, and that's how we confirmed, okay. When all is said and done and the auction ends, let's say it's at 9 o'clock on Sunday night, then I'll go through and post the winner of each item and say, please make your donation to One Small Step Avon. And then when that donation comes through, I then either package up and ship out their item, or I'll contact the person who is donating the item and say, so-and-so won this, and then they take care of it.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. So Sarah, I would say, is a glowing example of using all of the resources that at National we try to put out there for people to put into action locally and like make the best of it. So the fact that you're using your One Small Step site to do all of your promotion, and you're putting your donors in touch directly with your local vendors, all that's amazing. And I think it's a recipe for continued success and continued support, because people know that they're not just helping the mission of our organization and your daughter Lily, but they're also helping people in Avon, Indiana, which is great. Mm-hmm. So with that, I'd like to open it up for brainstorming and questions. So go ahead and unmute yourselves, and we can go as broad and high level, or as detailed and minute and specific as you guys want.
I also just some things that I've thought about doing that I haven't done yet. And it might be something that's better for people who have these resources already. But if I had a friend who was a hairstylist, I would ask her, hey, could we do, like, every Tuesday in the month of May, you do haircuts for PWS donations? Or could we, if I had, let's say, a group of high school kids, which I don't, but if I did, and maybe they needed to have a community service project, maybe I say, hey, it's getting really warm outside. Let's go have a car wash and donate the proceeds to FPWR. So it doesn't have to be a huge, elaborate, well-planned idea. It can be something that comes together simply and still make an impact. Really, people. It's a great way just to get people involved and energized about funding research.
Absolutely. Dana, you did something last year, didn't you, with a friend? Was it a friend or a family member who's a hairdresser, and they were adding in FPWR blue extensions?
Yeah, we did. Our friend that was a hairdresser for the month of May did blue hair extensions and donated all the proceeds to PWS. And she also came to our event and had a tent there and did it there.
Oh, nice.
Which was a huge success. So I think we raised over $1,000 just with that.
That's great. And touching on what Sarah just said in regards to college students and needing service hours, I think everybody on the line knows Gwen Spearman pretty well. Gwen has a really nice relationship with the University of South Carolina upstate, and she gets those college students out and like running her One Small Step walks. They did a kickball tournament last year, and they were the ones that organized all the teams, and she really puts them to work, and they get a lot of service hours out of it, and it's a relationship that she's managed to maintain year over year. So if you're near a college campus, typically, if you don't know somebody who's actually of college age, you can go to the Student Services Center or the Counseling Center, and there's usually an opportunity to sign up community events or put a notification on, I want to say their bulletin board, but I'm sure it's more tech savvy than that these days, where, you know, you can kind of announce opportunities for service hours in the community.
That's a great idea. I need to talk to you or her more about doing that. I'm in Indiana University is basically our backyard, and I know that they have those, they need service projects to do, and I need to tap into that.
Another thing that we have done that has been helpful, oh, this is Amber, by the way. We have tapped into other special needs groups. We did a fundraiser this past weekend that I doubled up with a good friend of mine who raises money for the Down Syndrome Association.
Mm-hmm.
So we co-hosted the event together. She spread the word to her community. I spread the word to my community, and it ended up being a really good event. I don't think that either of us together would have been able to get the turnout, because we had like requirements, number of people to get in the door, number of people, or amount of money to get through concessions to make it actually worth our while and make a profit on it. So that has worked well for us to kind of tap into different special needs groups and communities and partner together.
Yeah, I love that idea, especially since, you know, the statistic is 1 in 10 people has a rare disease, right? So it should be pretty easy to find somebody else who's also fundraising for a cause, and what a great way to double up the awareness building and the fundraising. What kind of event was it, Amber?
We had a movie fundraiser. There's a small local movie theater. It's actually a bar and a movie theater together. And I know the owner pretty well. We've done fundraisers with him in the past. And in the past, he's always donated the space, but he's like, I wish I could, but I can't anymore. You know, he's got bills to pay and stuff too. So, yeah, we picked the movie and we played Princess Bride at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, and we made an easy $400. So,
how fun. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Now, do you have anything slated for May at this point?
We had a T-shirt fundraiser that we were going to do in May, but I don't want to back it up too close to Sarah's T-shirt fundraiser, so we'll probably push that back into June. We were trying to do an open house in May, but couldn't get that scheduled with vendors, so that actually got pushed back to June as well. So I don't have anything in May, unfortunately.
Okay. Can you say a little bit more about the open house?
Sure. It's a lot like what Sarah does with the like vendor fairs, but it's just super small scale. It's in my living room. I get 4 or 5 vendors. I have a really good friend that makes jewelry, so I tap into her connection with like the local vendor Etsy community. I am the farthest thing from crafty, so I have no connections that way. So yeah, she helps me recruit a couple vendors. I get a couple direct sales people. They set up tables in my living room. We have wine and appetizers, and I just advertise it as an open house. And I give the vendors the option of, instead of charging a table fee, they can either donate to, hold on a second.
I'm Scotty.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Thank you. So I give people the option of either, it's all right, sorry, we've got a 2-year-old diaper for this. I know, hold on. I'll get it. Okay, fine.
So Sarah, for your craft fair that you do, does that take place at your One Small Step event, or do you do it, what's the venue?
We've done that. We have done that 2 years in Bloomington, and then last year we did it in Avon. We had some vendors there, but I've also done it separate from my One Small Step event. We used a large church fellowship hall, and it was nice. They had all the parking, the restrooms. They had a kitchen we could use. It was a great setup for that. But I've also seen people use fairgrounds, buildings, school gyms are pretty popular. So places that tend to be either donated or low price to rent.
That's great.
Sorry, I had to run off, guys.
Oh, no, it's okay.
The 2-year-old runs the house here.
You're right, as they normally do.
So I give vendors the option of either, instead of charging a table fee, they can either donate a portion of their sales from the night, or they can make a donation to our silent auction. And most of them do both. Give us product for the silent auction and then a portion of the sales.
And you do the silent auction as part of the open house, or?
No, the silent auction at our event, at our wall.
That's great.
I think Jen Lee is on the line. It looks like she's muted, but she's had some great fundraisers that have popped up that I've seen her post on Facebook. And I want to say there were some that were like concession stands where her children played sports. They've done fundraisers for them. I want to say she had a pizza fundraiser. I don't know if she's still on the call, but she had some really good mini fundraisers that popped up throughout the year on top of her golf scramble that she hosts.
Hey Jen, are you there? It says you've muted your microphone. If you want to jump in, we'd love to hear from you. You just go ahead and unmute yourself on that little guy next to your name. Dana, there was another thing that we had talked about that you were doing that I wanted you to touch on, and it just slipped out of my mind. Gosh, I can't recall.
I don't remember what you're talking about, Hannah, but just to piggyback on what you guys were saying about having like craft fairs or things like that, something that we've done in the past at our event is people that sponsor our event, we give them the opportunity to come and have a tent there. You know, people, and so sponsorship in either form of like an in-kind donation or a check. So the girl that does the hair extension, she comes and has a tent, and then and likewise, people that want to make in-kind donations to our silent auction, they can come and have tents. So we have had BMW come and bring a car, and they do giveaways, and then we have had craft girls like who make homemade products like you do, Sarah, come and have tents, and they sell their products, and they donate to our silent auction and make a donation based on what they sold for the day. You know, fitness centers that are here have come and done giveaways, and so like I think it's great exposure for the local businesses, and then also knowing that it becomes sort of more than a walk, but like a community event, like a fair sort of thing where people can come and go in and out of the tents and participate in little raffles or have giveaways or, you know, receive giveaways, makes the event sometimes a little bit more appealing to the general public, maybe people that might not just be coming to support you because they know you and know your story or whatever.
So Dana, can you talk a little bit about how you go about approaching those local businesses?
Generally, we start with people that we utilize, so, you know, our car dealership or our bank or our landscaper or people, you know, local businesses that we frequent, my gym or whoever, and those people generally always support because, you know, they know that we're frequent customers, I guess. That's where we get most of our sponsorships from. And then other things, other businesses that I've approached are people that I feel might be a good fit with our mission. So fitness, health and wellness generally are places that I'll approach. I always go to Whole Foods. We go to Trader Joe's. We always have had a ton of success with Target. And the way that I approach is I shop there typically. So I go, you know, when I'm shopping one day, I bring a sponsorship package and ask to speak to someone that might be able to help me. And, you know, I explain what I'm doing and give them our packet. And so far we've had, you know, success every year. Target has been a huge sponsor. They send at least 10 volunteers to our event every year. Those guys come in early in the morning. They make posters and stand along our 5K route and cheer on our runners. They also have donated, you know, electronics, bicycles, backpacks full of school supplies to our silent auction. And they also generally donate all the water for each of our events every year. And Whole Foods has always donated fresh fruit. And, you know, it's nothing other than just asking, you know, and we've had pretty good success. And I think that, you know, it's the first year might be the most difficult time to ask, but then once you develop the relationship, you can kind of always go back to that point person that you've met the year before or years before, and they're generally always willing to help out again.
And do you do anything special in terms of follow-up after the event or donation that's worked really well for you?
I always make it a point to go around. We have a lot of people at our events generally, so I don't get to see everyone that's there, but I always make it a point to go around to our vendors or the people that are at the tents and say thank you. And then post-event, I usually go into the businesses, bring a T-shirt and a thank you card. I always do handwritten thank you cards after our walk, and any other events that we host during the year if it is fitting. And I always, you know, try to go and thank in person to those, you know, big sponsors, or call them up on the phone if I can't see them in person or whatever.
That's great. Thanks, Dana. I see that April Craig just joined. April, are you there?
Hey, April.
I'm here.
Hey, so we're at the point in the call where we're just kind of brainstorming and sharing ideas and talking about either what we've got planned for the next few months, or ideas you might have and maybe want some feedback on. Did you have anything specific that you're working on for PWS Awareness Month that you wanted to chat about?
Well, no, I really honestly just really wanted to be a part of this webinar to get some ideas.
Oh, great.
We're just getting started with brainstorming, me and Rhonda, another mother here in Jacksonville. And, you know, we wanted to really kick things off next month with Prader-Willi Awareness Month, and, you know, just going forward, know what will work for us in being able to raise as much for the walk as we can.
Perfect. So if you guys don't mind, I would say since April just joined us, Amber, Dana, Sarah, do you guys each want to share like your favorite activities to date that maybe might help April kind of jumpstart things? So for instance, Dana was just talking about she gets a lot of support from her local vendors because she goes back to them year after year, and there's this nice lead up to her One Small Step event where they're all featured. Dana, do you want to talk a little bit about like your photographer friend and the hairstylist in your neighborhood and restaurant donation nights and those things?
Sure. Hey, April. So I guess basically the theme of what I try to do is we stay local, and we always stay with the people that we like, businesses that we frequent. So our family photographer always donates something each year. She does like a photography like class, and she'll donate the proceeds from that, or she'll offer mini sessions for the month of May and donate the proceeds from that. the girl that cuts my hair last year did blue hair extensions and donated the proceeds from that. Most recently, last week, we did a paint night, which was super easy, and I think they're a national organization, so if you just write to them, someone will contact you and help you set up a fundraiser, and all you have to do is promote ticket sales. And you can even do that, like, the thing I liked about that was that it didn't have to be inside of your friends and family. So you choose a location that you'd like the paint night to happen, and then you can hang a poster in that restaurant's window. And so people that frequent that restaurant that may not even know you will buy tickets, and you receive money from tickets bought whether the person knows you or not. So that was a really nice and easy one, and we raised $1,000 just for that night alone. Other things that we've done with local businesses were bowling nights. The bowling alley in our area let us use it for a very minimal fee per person, and then we were able to charge whatever we wanted to get people in the door, and they gave free pizza and soda for the night as well. So I think basically my advice would be to stay local and try to plug something in that you're already doing. If you frequent a gym or a business, or someone who sells something like a 31 bags or a LuLaRoe or whatever that is, other things like that, that would be a great fundraiser.
Thank you, Dana. Those are really good ideas. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's one of the things that we were kind of just discussing recently is, what kind of new ideas that we could come up with to raise money leading up to the day, leading up to the walk. We've just kind of been doing little things. I think we did it's like the kind of like what the schools do. It was candy fundraiser where you sell, like, everything has like one price. I think it was $7 for each item. It was like a little pamphlet brochure of different items. We did that, but we didn't really get too much success from that. I think it was mainly because there are a lot of children who go to school and have that same stuff, kind of throughout the year, and people weren't super interested. So we're just looking at different ways to be creative in trying to raise funds before we actually get to the day of our event. And we really did, I think, get the last couple of years the most success from selling T-shirts. Now we usually don't get a whole lot of the free T-shirts because we don't get a lot of people registering for the walk, and we usually have about 50 people or so show up. We're looking to increase that number a lot, as much as we can, and so we're just looking at creative ways to spread the word and kind of get people more excited and involved ahead of time, before the actual day of the event, getting people registered and getting people to donate and and support us throughout the entire fundraising process.
Yeah, I think that's great. And April, honestly, that's the recipe for big success. Like all of our top fundraisers every year, they're not bringing in those hugely impressive numbers on that one day. It's this whole kind of series of events that build anticipation and open up people's networks. And Amber Rector, who's in Ohio, she's on the line too. She was sharing that she does an open house at her home where she has her friends that all have like independent Etsy type businesses, or they have like an MLM business like Avon or Mary Kay or one of those great home-based businesses. They all come in and they'll either give a donation to have their their booth space in her living room, or they'll donate a portion of their profits from the day, and or they'll give a silent auction item that she'll then put in the silent auction at her One Small Step walk, which I think is brilliant, because then you're kind of getting, you're getting support on multiple days.
Oh, yes. That's
and
a great
it's,
idea.
it sounds like a fun, casual shopping opportunity, and you're giving your friends that have that home-based business an opportunity to build their clientele at the same time while they're helping your mission.
Yeah, that sounds like, and I have a few friends, I'm always getting the invites. I think we always, everyone's always getting those invites to these online parties for these different home-based businesses, and getting them all, I think, together in person would actually, I think, fare better. Inviting everybody all at once to meet and greet and participate, I think, is a great idea.
And tap into those friends for their connections too, because like I was saying, I have a friend that sells Pure Haven, and I have a friend that makes jewelry and sells it. And those are really like the people that I'm close with and comfortable asking to come over. Other than that, I don't know a lot of people that sell that. But those two friends have a ton of connections, and they were both willing to, like, oh my gosh, I know this girl that makes toy candles out of recycled beer bottles. She would totally set up a table. Oh, I have a friend that does this. And so tap into your connections, if you follow me. That was really helpful for us.
Okay. I'm definitely going to look into that, to doing that as well. That's a great idea.
Another really simple one I just remembered that we did is one of our first fundraisers. If you work in an office building, or if you know someone that works in an office building, we did a bake sale for Rare Disease Day, or in honor of Rare Disease Day, like when Ella was first born. And we just asked my husband's office building if we could set up in the lobby, and I made a bunch of treats and stood there, and people bought stuff all day long. It was like super duper easy, and like very low costs for us, and it was fun. Again, you're building a network at something like that because you're meeting tons of people that then want to support.
And did you have several people bake and donate goods, or did you bake everything yourself?
We teamed up, like Amber said earlier, with another mom who had a child with special needs, a very rare disease called CDKL5, and she and I baked everything together, and then at the end of the day we split the money, and half came to PWS and half came to CDKL5.
That's a great idea. And I've thought about a bake sale, and I was like, I don't know if I should do a bake sale for PWS because our kids can't have that.
Totally, I totally know. But now I might not do it because it might be harder to do that, with Ella being almost 4 years old. But at the time she was an infant. But maybe, you could make something else or a different type of treat,
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I mean, everyone loves who doesn't love baked goods? Maybe throwing something in there, one of my new recipes. I collect recipes for Amelia, fun snacks for her that are PWS friendly. So maybe I can throw in a snack that is PWS friendly and see how that fares. But, of course, putting all of the regular good stuff on the table as well.
Right.
That's a great idea. I think that one might actually be something I will do in the very, very near future. Get the ball rolling, so to speak.
I love that, April. And one other thing that was brought up, I think, just before you jumped on the line was putting college students to use. And I believe where you live, there's a few campuses nearby. College students all need, for the most part, community service hours in order to graduate. And Gwen Spearman, who is actually on our staff now, but she's currently on maternity leave, she does a really great job of leveraging this with the University of South Carolina in her hometown. And she put those students to work. This year, they're kind of creating their own monster. Several of them have created their own One Small Step fundraising pages under her event. But day of, they run her logistics. They set up her tables. They help with registration. They hand out T-shirts. So that might also be something you want to look into. Typically, if you contact the student services or counseling centers on campus, there's resources there to post your event or put in a request for students to help out with your efforts locally. And students are great because they're so tapped into technology, generally speaking, that they can help come up with new ideas that maybe you and I haven't thought of about how to promote stuff.
Okay, that's a great idea. And there are several campuses. We've got UNS. I'm sorry, my phone keeps ringing. We've got you here, which actually I used to attend. So tapping into that resource will probably be really easy because I know where everything's at over there. And the community college as well. Oh gosh, and we also have JU. So there are 3 campuses that I could probably pull from, and I would just go into the student services office or contact them by phone, and I should be able to get in contact with someone who would know, how to get that ball rolling, how to get, what students to get involved in, or a list of students, excuse me, to get in contact with.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just kind of go to them with a general idea of I've got events on these dates. Maybe it's maybe it's a mini fundraiser, and maybe it's your One Small Step walk, and say I'm looking for 5-10 students that need community service hours, and we can sign off on that official paperwork as FPWR, and yeah, they're a great asset.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I definitely am going to look into that. That sounds like that would be a great asset. That's one of the things that we were looking into increasing this year is our volunteer base, people to help with spreading the word and, raising funds, and sometimes it's hard to get people who are really close to you involved. They tell you yes, and then they get super busy with other things, and they don't think about necessarily committing to doing things before the day of, and then the day of everybody's there to help out, but then getting to that point is we struggle with getting people to kind of help out there. So getting kids involved who are not so connected to us but willing to work and willing to do whatever it is that we're asking them to do to help out is actually a huge asset, I think.
Yeah, I think that's great. Let's see. So,
well, were there any other?
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
Sarah, do you want to? Can we go back to the online auction that you run through your One Small Step site? Can you walk April through how that works?
Sure. April, I have a Facebook page that's open to the public. It's One Small Step /Bloomington, and I use that to do all of our promotions, all of our educating, and that's what I use to do our online Facebook auction. And the great thing about that is I will post for several weeks leading up to the auction that I'm looking for donations from small businesses or hobby-like businesses like Etsy stores, or from MLM companies like the LuLaRoe for 31 bags. And I've gotten such a good response from that. I've had photographers donate photo sessions. I've gone ahead and gotten a few other things that are shippable, like tickets donated from an amusement park nearby. Basically anything that I can ship is going into this auction. And then I post it as an album on on Facebook. So there's a picture for each item being auctioned off, and then I post the name of the person who donated it or the business, their website or email address, and the item that's being auctioned off. And then what that does is it gives them a ton of free marketing because it's being shared on Facebook over and over and over and over, not just in my community, but all across the U.S. And then people from anywhere can bid on the items. And I usually start the bids at half the retail value. And typically, they all go for what they're worth. And every year that I've done that, we've raised about $2,000. And it only takes me the time of collecting the photos and creating the description and posting it on Facebook. And then I request that the people who are donating the item, if they're not local, I request that they are in charge of shipping it or delivering it, however it's supposed to be sent. So that's part of their donation.
Okay.
So it works out really well. It's I didn't do it last year because we wanted to compare having everything at the One Small Step Walk versus having an online auction. And I think really either one would be great, but I love having it online because people who typically don't get involved in my fundraising efforts come out of the woodwork. And so that has been super helpful where those people are donating. They probably wouldn't have donated if it was going to a walk, but because it's being publicly shared, that's great marketing for them, and a lot of people donate. So that's been really successful, and it's so easy, and I just run it for about 3 days, and then like let's say the end time is 9 p.m. on Sunday. At 9 p.m. on Sunday, I'll go through and write at the bottom of each one who the winner is, and then I ask them to make their donation straight to the One Small Step website that we've set up for it, and then when their donation goes through, they get the product.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and so when you're requesting the items for the auction, is there like a do you go to them specifically, or do you just like go to certain people or certain organizations specifically, or do you just post I'm looking for items and then they come to you, or do you usually?
I'd say about 80% of it is me just posting and them coming to me, and then the other 20% I'm actively like we have a great amusement park about 2 hours from here, and I just Google Holiday World donations, and then it takes me to their donation form. And
awesome.
So there's a few things like that, like the Children's Museum, or things that I know would be a hit. I'll go ahead and fill out those forms, but for the most part, people just donate. And then since this is my third online auction, I can go back to the people who have donated before and ask them if they haven't already offered in the last week or so that I've been asking.
Okay, cool. Another question, do you have like a set amount, like a starting amount that you would typically use for each item, or would that just?
Part of what I request when they donate whatever it is they're donating, I ask what the retail value is. So let's say it's a painted framed photo for $30. Then I start the bidding at half the retail value. So, because I don't want things to go for ridiculously low, and I don't want it to have to go on and on and on and on for it to get up. So we started at half, and then just about every item goes for its full value.
Awesome. That sounds great. Okay, good. I think those were my only questions. Just wanting to know.
Yeah, so another perk of that, when I ask them to go straight to the One Small Step page to make their payment there, a lot of times people will they'll donate more. So they'll say that they got the $30 framed piece of art and they go to my One Small Step page, they might leave $50 instead of $30. So it ends up working out pretty well with that as well. People get to the page and then they make an extra donation because they've read our description and what we're raising money for.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that sounds like an amazing idea. Thank you guys so much for all these great ideas, because they are really actually very helpful. I see myself using at least 3 of them. I know that I'm, working in my mind right now, getting started to, trying to put these things together and how I'm going to, get them started, because they are really great ideas and sound like they will work amazingly to bring in more funds for us this year, as well as spreading awareness. I mean, that's one of the main things I feel like, we need to do is just get the word out there. Nobody knows. Every time I come in contact with someone, who has a question about Amelia's cast, or, or at the doctor's office, I run into another parent, we talk, that what is Prader-Willi syndrome? Like, nobody's ever heard of it. And, it's really great being able to educate people and, teach people about our kids' condition, and kind of get them interested and excited about, wanting to help out. So, that's what, I mean, it's an everyday thing, but, being able to do that and help, fund research to, keep our kids healthy and happy is definitely a huge plus.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you found value in the conversation, April, and we're thrilled that you were able to join us. And what I'm going to do is compile the notes that I've been taking while we've all been talking this morning and afternoon, and share a link to everything via the One Small Step group, and we'll also probably post it on the main Facebook page. And then I'll shoot you a personal email just so you have my contact information in front of you. And if you ever want to brainstorm or call and say, I've got this idea, I'm planning to do this event, and I have a few questions about, best practices or things you've heard that worked really well, you can also feel free to reach out to me, or Dana Capobianco, of course, who's our One Small Step coach. And, we're here for you. So
thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. If anybody, we're just about at 10 o'clock, so I think we're getting ready to sign off. Did anyone else have anything that they'd like to share before we do?
I did just want to quickly share one more thing. Sarah, you mentioned getting items from companies like 31 or LuLaRoe for the auction, and we get them too for our silent auction at our race. And I thought the other night at our paint nights, a friend of a friend came along, and she sells LuLaRoe, and so she offered to have a party for us. And here in New York, I don't know if I would have a huge network of people to bring to a party at my house, but I asked her if we could do one if we could do one virtually, and I thought, what a great way to engage the entire PWS community. And if you could broaden your network like that by hosting a party online, I feel like it's sort of like what Sarah's doing right now with the online T-shirt sales. You're engaging so many more people than just your friends and family, and then the person from 31 or Pampered Chef or LuLaRoe or Usborne Books, all of these companies that are our friends are working for, they can donate their proceeds for that party to our One Small Step campaign. So we're going to be doing one coming up, and I just thought that was like another easy plug-in, someone that that works for one of these companies could definitely help.
Yeah, I love that. And April, we are putting together a calendar that's going to live on the FPWR website for the month of May. So you'll see another post go out this morning, but I'm trying to get everybody to tell us what they're planning to do, so that way if we've got these virtual parties where a portion of the profits come directly to FPWR for PWS Awareness Month, we can put it out there in that calendar. So even though you're in Jacksonville, people in Cleveland or in Manhattan or in Los Angeles can all be shopping via that event if they want, because they'll see that it's something that they can do that day to support. So,
awesome. Okay.
So make sure whatever you decide to do, you share with us and you give us the details so that we can keep everybody else informed.
Absolutely, I will. I'm really considering going ahead and getting together a silent auction for some items. If I can get them gathered in time, I think that would be a great thing to do for the month of May.
Right.
So look forward to seeing that for me soon.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate your time and great ideas this morning, and we'll look forward to talking again in the future.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Anna.
Right.
Bye.